Hi. More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast here on SEC Country. You okay? Good. Brandon Walker, along with, tell them your name.
Emma.
Emma Walker, my 9-year-old daughter. We have got the whole crew. We were just kind of mailing it in last week. But we've got myself and Emma. We had Cyrus yesterday. I'm sure Tommy will come tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know. He might not want to come. Hail State from work in Taylorsville, Mississippi. Hello, Beverly Anderson King. Steve C. Careful, Brandon is watching. Joy D's, good morning from South Haven. Bonnie Williamson Gable just says, oh my gosh. So Bonnie likes the kids. Likes the kids when they come on the show. Memphis in the house. Hello, Jordan McMillan. I still don't understand my comment. Are they going upside down? Are they going right side up? I don't understand the comment. Hail State from Little Rock. I'm hungry already. Butch Bailey says, I'm heading up 45 through West Point. Going to check on Phil. What's the super secret password to the BW Smoking Lounge? Well, you go there and you say, can I see the Brandon Walker Smoking Lounge? And they will say yes. That's the super secret password. Or just walk through like you know where you're going. Hail State from the Great Smoky Mountains, Karen Morgan DeWeese. Cincinnati in the house, Jay Page. Hail State from Lena, Mississippi. What do you think we should eat for lunch? Good stuff. All right. Hail State from Pass Christian, Mississippi. Hello from West Point, Orson Shelton, Point City. Brandon, Mississippi, George B. Stallings. Oh, my God, what a cutie. So adorable. Thank you very much. I do work out. Good morning. Headed to DeKalb. Chris Van Zant. We got Chris Van Zant, excuse me. We got two indie people in here. Let's represent Oliver McLeod. Birmingham, Derek Myers. Hello, Birmingham. Hello, Derek Myers. So on today's show, are you okay? You good? All right. Good morning, beautiful daughter, says Lynn Rhodes Gilmer. Hail State from Cajun Country, Abbeville, Louisiana. Christopher Lofstrom. Walnut, Mississippi, Michael Cobb. Hail State from Greenville. That's Kenny Manning checking in this morning. Hello, Kenny Manning. Always good to see you. Beautiful but hot in Conway, Arkansas today, says Jay Hammers. Jay's added a name to his, he's added Heather to his Facebook name there, I guess. That's the old wife, and he are sharing the account from now on.
Mazel tov.
Ecru, Mississippi. I know where Ecru is. I think it's in Pontotoc County. I believe it's in Pontotoc County. Sitting on an airplane in Detroit, Hail State, Corey Dickey. West Point, Mississippi, Patrick Ray. That is the second West Point we've had already. Beautiful daughter, says Elda Italia Evelyn. Wow, that was quite a mouthful. You remembered your cowbell? I did. You know people can't drive in Alabama. They suck at life, says Derek Myers. They can't drive anywhere, Derek. People can't drive anywhere. Never, ever think your hometown or place has a monopoly on bad drivers. They're bad everywhere. They get in the left lane everywhere. They go slow everywhere. They cut you off. Yes, Nate, what? What, Nate? What do you want?
The drivers in Germany are fantastic because you can't get your license till 18. Takes 9 months of driving school and costs like $3,000. So they're better drivers than we are. That's why they get to have no speed limits.
Thank goodness she looks like her mama, says Wayman Hodge. It's the second day y'all have used that joke. Second day. Y'all all said Cyrus looks like his mama, so he's good looking. I'm sorry. She also looks a little bit like me. Who do you think you look like, me or mama? You look like me more? Amanda Dunaway Walker says, hey, beautiful. Hello. Hi. But Mississippi people don't use turn signals like it's a law, says Shannon Lisenby. Yeah, well, they don't use them anywhere. They don't use them anywhere. Trust me. I drove here in Atlanta traffic today. I know. Thanks for leading with the Alex Wilcox story yesterday. No problem, Kenny Manning. The dimples on your kid, says Heather J. Hammers. Spitting image of Brandon, says Bonnie Williamson Gable. Derek Myers says, who's her favorite? So yesterday we asked Cyrus who his favorite was. He said Mom. So Emma, I'm going to ask you in front of everybody, who's your favorite, Mom or Dad?
You more.
Oh boy. Here, just take whichever one you want. You want this? Okay. No. All right. Okay. Let her ring the bell. That's the plan, Nick Stevens. She's going to ring the bell. You are going to ring the bell when we start the show, right? You're going to be ready? Going to be good? All right. Fantastic. On today's show, we're going to talk about SEC Media Days. I had a question yesterday that I thought was very, very interesting. A fan asked me, where do you think State's going to be ranked in SEC Media Days? Where do you think the media will put State in the preseason? As the preseason magazines have all been very bullish on State. They've all really liked Mississippi State. They think State's going to be good. And those writers are usually pretty sharp and pretty, they're researching this stuff all offseason, so they know what they're talking about. Now, the Media Days people are a little lower on the totem pole. They're kind of gum off the magazine writer's shoe. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about exactly where I think State's going to rank. Sports Illustrated came out with its top 100 players in college football. It's awful. It's one of the worst lists I've ever seen in my entire life. I will dissect that. Chris LEMONIS, now the official head coach of Mississippi State University, we'll dive into that. I have a couple of observations there I'd like to talk about. At the end of the show, the last one we've ever had on this show, a shot of Jack. We will end the shot of Jack on this show very, very soon. So, more Cowbell. Well, let's see. Facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show. I'm a little flustered today. Facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show. Please go there. Check that out. That's the launching point for the new show. Go give that a like, and you will be able to tune into the new show very soon. morecowbellshow@gmail.com. That's morecowbellshow@gmail.com. You can email me if you have a comment, a question, an insult, whatever. You can email me at morecowbellshow@gmail.com. I predict 12th in the top 25, says Wade Smith. Maybe. I think it's going to be around 14 or 15. That's what I think. I would put us at about 11 or 12, but I think it's going to be 14 or 15 nationally in the AP. But media in SEC, it's weird. I think we'll get more national recognition than we will SEC. I know it's odd, but you've got your embedded LSU writers, your embedded A&M writers, and stuff like that. So I'll talk about that in just a minute. Seems like I have something else to talk about before I go on the show. Nate, did you have something to say?
Well, you said that the people at SEC Media Days are gum on the bottom of your shoe. I was at SEC Media Days last year.
Accurate. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Point proven. By the way, I am not happy that you're wearing that J.B. Holloway design shirt. Okay?
You,
I didn't give it to you.
It's a great shirt.
I didn't give it to you. I gave it to Terp.
You want to shout out J.B. Holloway Designs?
I have. It's a fantastic shirt. I don't know why you're wearing it.
It's comfortable. It's stylish. It's everything I want a shirt to be. Thank you, JB.
All right. Very good. Are you ready to play my intro music?
I am.
Let's go.
It's the More Cowbell Show, brought to you by SEC Country. And now, your host of the More Cowbell Show, Brandon Walker.
That's me, Brandon Walker. More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. We are officially rang in here on a Wednesday, our next to last show here at SEC Country. We got one show left, and this circus is over. They're kicking us out in the street. And you know what? Thank God, Landshark. Thank God, because I'm lacking the motivation to come up here and drive in traffic and get up here every single day. But I'm going to be doing it from home very soon. The Brandon Walker Studio is under construction. I have kicked one of my kids out of his room. Brandon Walker Studio has taken over that. We have painted it. We have bought stuff. I've got the equipment. I got my camera. The new show will be in effect very soon. We'll also have the podcast. Everything that we do now will be available once I leave SEC Country, except I'll be in charge of it, and nobody can tell me when to stop. All right? Because I ain't doing that again. Not going to do it again. Now, got my daughter Emma here. Say hi, Emma.
Hi.
Ow. You all right?
Those things will bite you. You got to watch out.
I sorry. You okay? All right. All right. More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country here on a Wednesday. I don't know what to say. Today we're going to talk about SEC Media Days, preseason projections. I know that some people don't care about preseason projections. I personally do, because where you end up in the season, if you win 6 games, 7 games, 8 games, 9 games, often depends on where you start. You need to start at a good spot. And I'm a Mississippi State fan. I'd like to see Mississippi State get the credit it deserves. When it has a team like this, it deserves credit. It deserves more credit than LSU, who's got a garbage head coach. It deserves more credit than so many other teams that have garbage this year. We don't. So we're going to talk about preseason coverage and everything else. We're also going to talk about Sports Illustrated's top 100 players list, top 100 players, Sports Illustrated College Football. It's one of the worst lists in the history of sports media. I'll discuss that in just a minute. Chris Lemonis, the new head coach of Mississippi State. I've got a couple of observations about Lemonis now that he has been officially introduced as the head coach at Mississippi State. Got a couple of those, and we've got a shot of Jack to end the show. It'll be the last shot of Jack we do on this particular show. It's a good one. It's a good one. 3 clips today from one of the greatest wins that I can remember in Mississippi State recent history. Now, before we get started, I want to say this beautiful Mississippi State polo I'm wearing with the Mississippi logo, this Adidas polo, this bell right here, the Junction Bell. You can find them both at maroonandco.com, at Maroon & Co. on Twitter and Instagram. The best store, the most pleasing store to get Mississippi State gear. It's not a hassle. It's not crowded. It's a great place. They got a lot of square footage. Great place on Highway 12 in Starkville. Go there. It's the best store to get Mississippi State gear. It's the one that helps me out, keeps me looking good. Did you have something to say there? No. Keeps me looking good, keeps me in maroon. So maroonandco.com, check them out. Now, I want to start by talking about SEC Media Days. SEC Media Days will be coming up July 17th, I believe. That's the week of July 17th at least. And I know, and I just said it, that a lot of State fans don't care for preseason rankings, and that's fine. I understand that. I do understand that. There are some fans that say, we play better when we're not ranked. Well, that's categorically untrue. That's not true at all. And if you're one of the top 25 teams in the country, if you're one of the best teams in the country, you deserve to be treated like one of the best teams in the country. And this year, Mississippi State is bringing back so much. They've got so much talent. They're going to be one of the best teams in the SEC. I, as a fan, want to see them treated like one of the best teams in the SEC. I don't want them put at 24 while LSU, who has the worst head coach in the conference, is up at 11. I don't want them put at 24 while Texas A&M, who's done nothing, gets ranked ahead of them. I don't want them unranked while Florida, who went 4-7 last year, gets ranked. No, I want Mississippi State to get their just dessert. I want just rewards. I want them to get what they have coming to them. Mississippi State going to be one of the best teams in the SEC this year. So let's talk about that. And all the magazines that have come out so far, all the magazines, Phil Steele is very bullish on Mississippi State. He picks Mississippi State to win double-digit games. He thinks they're going to win at least 10. I think 10-2 is my pick as well. 9-3, depends on how we get there. Wouldn't shock me, but 10-2 would be my pick. Does this stuff matter? Not really. No, not in the long run. But it kind of does also. It kind of does. How high you get in the regular season is dependent on where you started. Scenarios like 2014 when Mississippi State went from unranked to number 1, they don't happen very much. They don't happen. If you're going to get very high, if you're going to get in that playoff discussion early on, if you're going to be somebody that matters in college football, you need to start off pretty high. I mean, you're not going to go from unranked to top 5 in 6 weeks. That's a rare scenario. I want to see State start in the top 10 to 15 range. That's where I want to see them start. I believe I'd put them anywhere from 11 to 14. That's where I would put them. If we want to be a contender in the SEC, and we're there. This team can contend in the SEC. I'd like to see Mississippi State treated like a contender. Coming into this season, Mississippi State should be the 4th highest ranked team in the SEC, behind number 1, Alabama, number 2, Georgia. Number 3, I will give them credit, Auburn, although I do think Mississippi State will be better than Auburn this year. I think State's a better team, but Auburn beat us 49-10 last year, had a decent year, went to a New Year's Six Bowl. They deserve to be where they are, so I'm fine. But I think State should be the next highest ranked team in the SEC. Alabama and Georgia, unquestioned number 1. Auburn next, at least until Mississippi State beats them. And then after that, anything less than that is a slap in the face at SEC Media Days. What I fear is when the media comes together in Atlanta, when they come together, you're going to have the LSU writers, you're going to have the Ole Miss writers, you're going to have the Texas A&M writers, and State's going to slide down that list a little bit. You're going to see Mississippi State picked to be 4th in the West, 5th in the West, sixth in the West, which would be a gigantic slap in the face. Now, again, there's probably someone on Facebook Live saying preseason rankings don't matter. And on the surface, you're right. You're right. But again, I want Mississippi State to be treated like a contender because they have built a contender. That's all. Sports Illustrated is a long trusted name in sports media. Please sit down. Long trusted name in sports media, and if they continue putting out lists like this, that will not be the case anymore. They will be long gone and forgotten. Sports Illustrated came up with a top 100 players for 2018 college football. They released it recently, and it is god-awful. It is atrocious. You know, I was talking to somebody about a job recently, and they said, you know what, Brandon, we like you. I don't know if we can hire you, though, because you've said so many controversial things. You've said things about Ole Miss. You've said things about LSU, and I got to thinking, I was like, maybe I have said some things I shouldn't have said, but I'm going to keep saying them. I'm going to keep saying them. I'm not going to whitewash myself so I can fit in somewhere. I'm going to keep saying them. And Sports Illustrated's list is embarrassing. It shows a complete misunderstanding of football, a lack of understanding of football. It's like my daughter, who's never watched a football game in her life, put together a top 100 list just based on the name she liked. That's what it's like. No offense. Nick Fitzgerald at 41. He's the 41st ranked player in the country, according to Sports Illustrated. Mississippi State only had 2 players on the list, on the top 100 list. They got Jeffrey Simmons at number 77. They got Fitzgerald at 41. Ole Miss, who will probably go 5-7 this year, has 4 players on the list. Fitzgerald at 41, I don't like it. He should be higher. He should be a top 25 player. But at least I understand that you can say, you know, coaching change, injury. You can say some things to back up Nick Fitzgerald being at 41. Jeffrey Simmons at number 77 is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen sports media say about Mississippi State football. Jeffrey Simmons is one of the top 10 to 15 best players in the country. He's going to be a first-round draft pick, slam dunk. He is one of the best defensive linemen in the SEC in college football. Jeffrey Simmons is one of the greatest players in college football this year. At 77, that tells me you've never either watched a Mississippi State game or you don't know what you're talking about. One of those two things. Montez Sweat, not on the list. Montez Sweat led the SEC in sacks last year. You know who is on the list? Alabama defensive end Isaiah Buggs, who had 1.5 sacks last year. He's number 91. He had a sack and a half. That's 11.5 sacks behind Montez Sweat. And he is on the list, and Montez Sweat is not. Joe Jackson from Miami had 6 sacks. He's number 70. There's no defensive end on this list as productive as Montez Sweat, and Sweat's nowhere near it. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I get sensitive about the media. If you're going to cover college football, please know something about college football. If you're going to cover the SEC, please know something about the SEC. And I guarantee you there's 14 coaching staffs in the SEC that know who Montez Sweat is, but Sports Illustrated doesn't. It's amazing how bad this list is. It's amazing. I'm just getting worked up. Getting worked up on a Wednesday. Sorry. You want me to calm down? Yeah, I did. I spit on the mic. It's okay. I spit on the table. Yeah, it's fine. Fine. It's a dirty table. Chris LEMONIS, the new head coach at Mississippi State University, new head baseball coach. I saw a couple of things. I have a couple of observations here. First of all, Jack Kruger is a player that played 1 year at Mississippi State in 2016. He was a catcher, DH, did a lot for Mississippi State. Very good player, moved on after 1 year. Jack Kruger, after Chris LEMONIS was hired, tweeted something out. He tweeted out that he almost went to Indiana to play for LEMONIS when he was getting recruited. It was down to Mississippi State and Indiana, and he almost went to Indiana and played for LEMONIS up there. He ended up coming here because it was too hard to say no to Mississippi State baseball. And I just wonder if that was a key point in John Cohen putting that name in the back of his head. I'm sure he's crossed paths with him many times before, but Chris LEMONIS almost beat him for a recruit in 2016. John Cohen's still the coach. Chris LEMONIS at Indiana with that to offer almost beat John Cohen for a recruit with so much to offer down here. And I wonder if that kind of not played into the hire because he had to do a lot more research, but I wonder if that planted a seed that eventually grew into this hire. Change the bottom there. Change the bottom. Second observation here on Chris LEMONIS. JT Ginn is a first-round pick from Brandon, Mississippi. Throws 98 miles an hour. He's also a great position player. One of the best players to come out of Mississippi in years. A tremendous baseball player from Mississippi. He was drafted in the first round, I believe, with the 30th pick, I believe, by the Dodgers. He's looking at about $2.3 million signing bonus to sign with the Dodgers, but he hasn't signed yet. He is thinking about either signing or going to Mississippi State. I know Chris LEMONIS has already talked to him. According to reports, Chris LEMONIS trying to talk him into coming to Mississippi State. As a fan, I would love to see JT Ginn come to Mississippi State. It would be great. It would be awesome to have a player like that. And I know a first-round pick not going to college or not going pro and going to college happens every now and then. Hasn't happened to us yet, so eventually it's going to happen to us, and it might happen this time. I can't believe it's even a discussion, though. It's amazing to me that it's even a discussion. You got first-round money on the table. That guy's a stronger man than me. JT Ginn and his family are stronger than I am because I would have signed that offer in seconds. Maybe that says more about me than it does about them. It would be incredibly impressive if LEMONIS pulled this off. I don't hold him to it, though. If he doesn't, it's a non-starter to me because you're up against major league money. So if he doesn't, it says nothing about him. It's definitely not a failure. But if he does, wow, what a first statement. What an opening statement as the head coach at Mississippi State. Jack Crystal, the greatest to ever do it. The greatest to ever do it at Mississippi State. Landshark, he's not listening. I need the Jack Crystal clips. Okay. Jack Crystal, the greatest to ever do it at Mississippi State. He did it for 55 years. The greatest play-by-play announcer in the history of college football. He was ours. He was Mississippi State, and he was the greatest. And in my new studio, there will be a picture of Jack Crystal smoking a cigarette in the background. That's facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show. That's where the new show will be. Now, every now and then on the show, we listen to clips of Jack Crystal to enjoy our day. That's what we're going to do today. When we flash back to end this run on SEC Country, we flash back to 1999 when this happened.
Bulldogs with 3 wide receivers. They've got a 4 wide receiver package now. Again, Matkin ready to work. Drops back to throw. Sets up. Is being hurried. Fires it upfield. Pass is caught. And driving toward the goal line and scoring. It's C.J. Simone. He was wide open, Jack, about the 15-yard line.
That's C.J. Simone's. You know it. I know it. Ole Miss leading Mississippi State 20-13. They had been leading Mississippi State 20-6 in 1999 in the Egg Bowl. The year of the comeback, the year of the miracle. Mississippi State started 8-0. They had comebacks against LSU. They had comebacks against Auburn, against Kentucky. And now in the Egg Bowl, down 20-6. They had scored earlier to make it 20-13. Then C.J. Simone's wide open, found by Wayne Mackin from 38 yards out, ties the game against all odds. All of a sudden, the place is going crazy. Davis Wade Stadium's going crazy. Jack Crystal calling it. Will you put your teeth in your mouth? You're not Hugh Freeze's daughter. Jack Crystal calls it perfectly, and that led to this.
And this crowd is alive in Scott Field as Romero Miller's ready to work. Rolls back to throw. Is going to fire long down the right side. Passes. Caught for it. Intercepted. Mississippi State down the sideline. Is going to get out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Eugene Clinton was the man that picked it off. And there are 8 seconds left in the ball game.
That's Eugene Clinton. Again, with Jack Crystal calling it, I can see it. I can see it in my mind. I can see it perfectly as Romero Miller stupidly threw the ball down the field. I have no idea what Cutcliffe was trying to do. I have no idea what that coaching staff was trying to do. I've never seen anything as dumb as trying to push the ball down the field when they could have just run the ball and go to overtime, but instead Miller throws it down the field. It gets intercepted. Eugene Clinton runs down the sideline to the 27, setting up this.
Rob Morgan will hold at the 33. Scott Westerfield will try to win this football game for Mississippi State. We'll wait the snapback. Crowd gets quiet. It's put down. The kick is away. It's long enough. It's high enough. Wrap it in maroon and white. Wrap it in maroon and white. Bulldogs go out in front 23-20. 4 seconds left in this ball game. Mississippi State's going to get a celebration penalty. They sure are, Jack. People are running all over the football field.
I'm talking about life. I'm talking about one of my favorite moments ever. Next to my kids being born, at least a couple of them. One of my favorite moments of my entire life happened when somebody else kicked the ball and when somebody else talked into a microphone and said, wrap it in maroon and white. That was fantastic and legendary and a perfect way to end the Jack Crystal tribute here on More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. Man, we got one more show. Why is that on the screen? We got one more show, and you can tell. We got one more show tomorrow. More Cowbell here on SEC Country. I'll have Terp out here. Terp, you getting a haircut? You'll be on screen tomorrow. Landshark, gonna comb your hair. You'll be on screen tomorrow. Well, you're gonna wash it today. All right, fantastic. So we'll have everybody out here to celebrate the end of this particular version of the show until we get into my version, which will be coming up very, very soon. Let's go ahead and shut the podcast off. We'll keep the video on for a little bit. My name is Brandon Walker. You've been listening to More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. It's not over. That was just the podcast. If you want to talk, you can talk. Exactly. Fine. What do you want to eat for lunch? Let go of the mic. Let go of the mic. All right. Boy, oh boy. I'll miss Turp and Landshark, says Grace Thacker. Good. What happens if your kids want to go to Ole Miss? Are you going to want to go to Ole Miss? No, God, no. Why would you want to do that? Yeah, what?
You will be very mad.
What? I would be very mad at you. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Tell Turp to play Fortnite with me, says Lewis Williamson. Turp, play Fortnite with Lewis Williamson. What's your gamer tag? Is that what it's called on Xbox? Turp? What's your gamer tag?
Lobster 2314.
Lobster 2314. Is it spelled like lobster is, or is it
like lobster?
Lobster 2314. Shout out to Chad's mom. Hey, mama. I will not miss Turp at all, says Jesse Young. Am I in the doghouse, says Danny E. Pinter? Why? I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe. What date and time will your Facebook Live be on? I have not determined the time. I believe we're going to take a week off, as the July 4th holiday is next week. And I'll announce this on various social media. I think we're going to take a week off, and we're going to debut on July 9th. That's what I think we're going to do. Turp is the coolest, says Derek Myers. What would you like? You want barbecue chicken for lunch. Boy. When are we going to crack up bourbon for the finale? Jeremiah Body? I don't know. What's the latest with you getting your own podcast going, BW? Super excited to see what you do and what happens. So I bought the equipment. I bought the camera. I bought the sound equipment. I'm going to do this podcast on my own. I had offers to go back to Bulldog Sports Radio. Not going to do that, I don't think. I had offers to go other places, but I would rather just strike out and do this on my own. I'll sell the ads on my own. I'll make the profit on my own. I don't want to work for anybody anymore, so I'm gonna do it myself. My wife and family have been very helpful, setting up the studio, buying equipment, stuff like that. That's a cutie pie you got there, Brandon. Thank you, James King. Your streaming schedule should revolve around my class schedule. Oliver McLeod, I would argue your class schedule should revolve around my show schedule. Terp, did Germany win?
No. Korea won 2-0.
They scored 2 goals since I've been in here?
Shout out to Korea.
So that means Mexico is through and
Mexico's
Sweden is through?
Sweden is through.
And Germany's out?
Germany's out.
Wow.
First time ever, I think.
Wow. That's big.
Or last in the group.
Yeah, I'm talking about soccer. Love my niece, Emma Boo, just as much as her mama, says Emily Dunaway Mooney. Your aunt's watching. Say hi. What does your daughter think of Turp and Landshark? What do you think of Turp and Landshark? You like Landshark, right? Yeah, I don't know about him either. Who cares about soccer? Darren Butler. Billions and billions of people. Billions of people.
Literally billions.
Offers to go elsewhere, but he won't leave, says Steve C. That's about right. That is about right. So what do we do the week you're off? Enjoy your family, travel, watch some fireworks, eat some barbecue, and just know that I'm in the lab fixing this thing up. Yeah, barbecue chicken, that's fine. Well, I don't know where we're going to get barbecue chicken for lunch. Maybe we'll find somewhere. What? A hoagie? You want a hoagie? Well, we might get a hoagie. Ask Terp if he was a stoner at any point in his life, says Derek Myers. I don't have to ask Terp. I can just look at him and tell you right now he's a stoner right now.
Definitely.
He might be stoned right. All right. What have you been doing?
What?
What have you been doing?
Watching soccer.
Before that,
Playing soccer.
playing FIFA and Fortnite while he's at work. He brought his Xbox to work and he's playing FIFA and Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not stoner behavior, I don't know what is.
Definitely not a stoner. Shout out to my mom who's probably watching. Not a stoner.
Who's your favorite MSU athlete of all time in any sport, says Isaac Sparks. Well, I think I answered this before and now I can't remember it. I can't remember it. I know Terps is Fred Smoot. He's a big Fred Smoot guy.
The GOAT.
Yeah, Fred Smoot. You got me. You got me stumped. And the only reason I'm trying to stall is because I know I've said it before on the show. I just can't remember it. I'm on vacation next week, so that works perfect. Lance Chain. Thank you, Chris Phillips. He's got it. Will Clark was my favorite Mississippi State athlete of all time. Will Clark, I appreciate that. Will there be a barbecue grill in the studio? Barbecue with Brandon, says Shannon Lisenby. Ethan Fleury says, does she like living in Mississippi or Georgia? Watch this, Ethan. Emma, would you rather live in Mississippi or Georgia?
Like both.
Mm-hmm. Will Clark, Bailey Howell, Eric Molds, Dante, Rafael Palmero, all good answers. All good answers. But I personally, just when I was young, I was born in 79, so I was 7 years old in 86 when Will Clark made his debut. And his little 5-year run where he was one of the best players in baseball was right in my wheelhouse of being a child who loved and idolized Major League Baseball players. So it was Will Clark for me. I love Dak Prescott, too. Love Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott changed everything in Mississippi State, showed you what's possible in football, showed you how marketable a football player Mississippi State could be, showed you how incredible, and it continues to show you. Dak Prescott's way high on the list. A lot of basketball players. Mississippi State basketball is my first love. A lot of basketball players. Derek Tate, my friend till today. I was supposed to be on a show in Mississippi, and they never called me today. I just realized that. They never called me. What'd you think of Newman signing with the Lakers? He signed a 2-way contract. He's never going to play in the NBA. I mean, he'll probably be in Europe soon. He might play NBA G League, but he's never going to matter in the NBA. And I'm not saying that because he left here. He might not matter in the NBA even if he had never left here. Brandon, you've got to teach that girl to ring the cowbell. I'll say this about the junction bell. It's heavy. It's a heavy bell. It's made of nice material. This is not a dainty cowbell. I probably should have brought her an easier cowbell to ring. No. Sorry. Why do you want it over there? So you can so it doesn't block you? Okay. Does LeBron go to LA? Where's he going? Probably LA. That's what I think. Why is Derek Tate your friend until today? Did something happen to him? I don't know. Are you asking somebody else? Because Derek Tate, I have no problem with Derek Tate. What you think of Brandon Bryant's workout in Sinbad? I think he's got a long way to go before he gets really drafted. I mean, supplemental draft, it's hard to get supplementally drafted by one of these teams. They got to give up the pick they used to pick you. I don't know. I hope the best for him. I think he made a poor decision in leaving, but we'll see. Where are Turpin and Lynchart going to be working when SEC Country closes? Lewis Williamson. You're going to New York, is that right?
Yeah. Got nothing official yet, but leads with the NBA to SNY, the sports network up there.
That's pretty good leads.
So
If you can I just tell you something right now? If you get a better job than me after this, I'm going to be very depressed. I'm going to be very depressed.
I can't wait till I do.
Hey, Lynchart, do you know where you're going yet? Still don't know. What's good, Brendan? Nice shirt. Thank you, David Miller. Got it from Maroon & Company on Highway 12 in Starkville. I appreciate it. Hello from Alabama, Leanne Whittington. Brandon, Emma wants us to hear about her cute. Emma wants us to see her cute top. You have a lot to learn about women. Is that what it is? You're trying to show your pretty dress? That's that why you moved the cowbell? I will accept no less than 12-0 unless we lose, says Reg Callahan. That's one way to look at it. One way to look at it. What are your thoughts on DeJuan Black continuously telling people on Twitter he's flipping at a certain point and then continuously not following through? So much drama with him. Isaac Sparks, I like it. And let me tell you why I like it. Because he's not committed to Mississippi State, because he's Ole Miss's commitment. He's Ole Miss's problem. He's Ole Miss's drama. Now, do I think he'll eventually flip? Yeah, I do. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's going to flip. But at the end of the day, everything he's doing on Twitter is not messing with State fans. It's messing with Ole Miss fans. It's messing with them. Their class is outside of DeJuan Black and outside of Jerrion Ely. Two guys that very possibly might not ever make it to campus. Their class outside of those two guys is awful. It's atrocious. Mississippi State running circles around Ole Miss right now. And DeJuan Black, their best recruit, their best commitment, continually saying he's flipping to Mississippi State, you got to know it bothers them. Poor thing, she is so bored, says Jay Bedwell. Are you bored? Oh. Well, you chose to be on the show. I told you there was nothing to do. And you could have been playing, you could have been watching the phone the whole night. Mm-hmm. Which Walker is the most promising athlete? Ethan Fleury. Which of our kids is the best athlete, you think? You or Cyrus? John's going to be something to deal with, I think. John's big. We'll see. He's only 2, but he's big. Do we get a shot of Jack today? Reg Callahan, don't ever show up late and ask me that question again. Hit the desk. All right, what do we got? What are you guys going to eat today? What's for lunch? What's for lunch in Mississippi? What is for lunch in Mississippi? Landshark, what are you eating for lunch?
Going as a squadron.
Where are y'all going?
Agiana.
Who's the squad that's going? Wait, hold on. Everybody's going as a squad and I haven't been invited? Why not?
It's just open.
Let her ring the bell some more. I know that we are in the dead period for coaches recruiting. When are they allowed to go back at it? Heather J. Hammers. A dead period is one way to look at it. They can't have face-to-face contact, so they can't bring in kids and they can't go see kids, but I think they can still call and talk to kids. So I think they're still having that kind of contact. So I don't think it's full no contact like December is, but I think it's, pretty close to it. They just can't go see them. Burgers, leftovers, you need to change more cowbell to more cowbell, MOOR. Eating Wingstop at present, says Rob Hadaway.
Fire.
On ESPN3 right now, they're airing a sporting event that looks like either Red Rover or a tag between Pakistan and Kenya. I've never seen that, but that is very interesting, Kevin Wright. Connie's Fried Chicken, says Kelly Carlson. I believe that's in Tupelo, and it is delicious. Connie's Fried Chicken is delicious. But then again, have you ever had a bad fried chicken restaurant? I mean, they don't really exist. Fried chicken is just good. It's just a good food. No, I like KFC. See, I like KFC. We are headed to get Mi Pueblo in North Mississippi. Tacos, says Nick Stevens. A hot dog sandwich. Recipe is a hot dog cut in half on a loaf of bread. Ethan Fleury, I've had that in my life. You take 2 hot dogs, you cut it in half, all of a sudden you got 4 hot dogs. You put it between the bread. If you want some mayonnaise, that's fine. If you want to toast it, that's fine. That was a staple of my life growing up. That and fried bologna. I love fried bologna so much. My wife and I, we don't cook y'all fried bologna, do we? You never have fried bologna. Oh, fried bologna is terrific. I love it so much. Bacon and tomato sandwich, says Kenny Manning. Do you think Paul George is a top 15 player? I do not think that. Oliver. He's right outside the top 15. The Cake Box in Starkville, says Nate Knox. Nate Knox going to the Cake Box. I don't know, but it rhymed. Fried bologna is awesome, says Lewis Williamson. KFC is trash, says Lance Chain. The Cracker Barrel in Spanish Fort, Alabama, says Justin Wilkerson, which, I don't know. If you're down there, why wouldn't you just go on to Lambert's? Why would you go to Cracker Barrel? Come on, Justin. What's wrong with you? Justin's an Ole Miss fan. Big Ole Miss fan. You'd like a bologna cup then? Sharon Jarrett Spikes. We've had bologna cups before. You put it down in a muffin thing. You put an egg in it. We've had that. Yeah. But I don't like that nearly as much as a fried bologna sandwich. Emma, are you taller than your dad? She is not. Kenny Manning says, did you make those pigtails? I did not. Would you get down?
Taller than you.
I'm sitting down.
He was just taller than you right then.
Lambert's is overrated, says Drew Newell. That may very well be true, but I feel like it's better than Cracker Barrel. I feel like it's better than Cracker Barrel. Better than the Columbus, Mississippi Cracker Barrel, says Garrett Weaver. Why ever go to Columbus? Columbus is getting rough. It's getting rough out there. Put mashed potatoes in the bologna cup. No, she doesn't like potatoes. I know. She doesn't like potatoes. And you don't like milk. That's fine. But potatoes is a serious problem with me. Grilled Spam and cheese sandwiches are better than fried bologna, says Chris Phillips. Might need to ban Chris Phillips. Spam is, we'll talk about it later. Manager got shot there last week. I know, Garrett Weaver. I know, I'm aware. Did someone just say KFC is trash? Square up, says Jeremiah Body. I don't know why people think KFC is trash, Jeremiah. I love KFC. I like Popeyes too. I don't know why you have to have a favorite. I like them both. But I think KFC gets a bad rap. KFC is really good. What? Nothing. Jaja, the new mascot. I believe you're referring to the English Bulldog, who is named the ugliest dog in the world. Jaja. Barbecue bologna is the way to go. I once bought it thick and was going to grill it, but I never got around to it. I just ate it before I got to the grill. KFC is the OG. KFC the GOAT. Popeyes way better than KFC. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here goes the Popeyes KFC war again. Why don't we just all agree that they're both pretty good? Can we do that? Popeyes has better sides. I like the chicken better at KFC. I'm sorry. I do. But I think Popeyes has better sides. Bojangles, probably better than both of them. KFC used to be good years ago. KFC imitation chicken, says Eric Lee. Popeyes not close to KFC, says Junior Ray. Yeah, Popeyes and KFC soon to be open in Point City. Point City's moving on up. Moving on up. There is no better chicken than the original recipe KFC. Isaac Sparks says favorite MLB team. I'm a Braves guy, but I'm not really a diehard fan. I was a Braves fan back in the 80s when if you went to a game, you had a good chance of playing. That's how bad they were. Then I was a Giants fan because of Will Clark, and I came back to the Braves. But the 90s kind of killed me on the Braves because they were so good, it was boring. I really didn't enjoy the Braves being that good during my teenage years for some reason. I was happy when they won the World Series, but after the World Series and they won it, I was just like, I just fell out of it a little bit. It just wasn't fun anymore. I do like this young Braves team. Another thing I don't like about the Braves is we have the radio here in Atlanta and we have the TV that we can all see, and both feeds are just terrible homer announcers, and I don't really like that. I don't enjoy that. Who are Terp's teams? All right, I think I can answer this. Terp is a Mets fan.
Yep.
He's a New York Giants football fan.
Yep.
He's a New Jersey Devils fan. Yep. And I believe he's a Knicks fan.
Yes. Correct.
And he's a Maryland Terrapins fan.
And Georgia Tech.
You're I don't know any of yours. Are you you're an Ole Miss fan? You're a Braves fan? You're a Falcons fan? And you're a Hawks fan? Because you're from Atlanta.
That's pretty.
Nailed it. When's the wedding? July 25th? 28th. You're going through with it. My invitation got lost in the mail. How did you know I hadn't gotten my invitation? Got returned back. And then you just brought it up here to give it to me in person, right? And you just haven't given it to me yet? Okay. Can Landshark change oil? If so, I'd love to hire her. I doubt it. It comes from money. She drives a Cadillac Escalade, and she works here. She drives an Escalade. Like a good-looking Escalade, too. Like, not one that I would buy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 12:30. It's 12:30. What does Terp think about Mello? I don't know.
Trash.
Okay, very good. We got to get out of here. Landshark's there. Last show tomorrow. She'll be on camera. Terp's there. Last show tomorrow. He'll be on camera.
Yeah.
I'll be back. I'll be on camera. My name is Brandon Walker. You've been watching More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country.